Hi, welcome back. Today we are going to be reviewing and talking about a phrase that I hear all the time, and I'm sure a lot of you hear it when you're walking your dogs and they see your dog acting civilized. Um, it's how you raise them. It's how you raise them, okay? But it's kind of like a go-to line for saying that you can make a dog act any type of way according to what you raise them to do or how you want to raise them to act. And in that, it's partially true, but it isn't completely true. It's not really, a lot of things are not how you raise them. A lot of it, when you're dealing with working breeds, it's really a lot of it has to do with genetics, genetic drive, genetic predisposition. There are things that you can train, a behavior you can modify. Why, but in essence, you're not changing it. You just making the dog react differently with that drive. But again, it doesn't work all the time, and it all depends on the dog. I do really want to dispel that notion that it's all about how you raise them, as if the dogs are robots. That as long as you program them a certain way, they are going to always act a certain way, and that is not true. For example, this American People Terrier, it's an animal aggressive breed. You can modify some things, like if your dog comes in and you have a cat, you can modify that particular dog to be friendly or tolerate that cat. But it doesn't mean that it's going to be the same way with every cat in the world. More than likely, it is not. And more than likely, it's just going to like your cat and no other cats. Again, that all depends on the genetic background of the dog. If it's a mutt, for example, bred from pet dogs to pet dogs to pet dogs, uh, perhaps they are more inclined to be friendly and with anything that moves and not be aggressive. There are probably going to be the ones that are not as great at for protection because they're just you know being bred from pet to pet, pet to pets together, and with no thought of no consideration for work. But now, if we're talking about animals or breeds that are that come from working lines, working breeds. Like herding breeds, for example. If you grab champion herding dogs and you grab a puppy from those champions and you took him home into an environment that's not conducive to its work, it doesn't have anything to work. I've actually heard of cases that this in particular dogs will start nipping the little kids, nipping the kids, in order for subconsciously uh, working to herd the kids towards some other ways. So basically, the dog is looking to work subconsciously. So a lot of times you have to find ways of helping this drive. If you're going to keep a dog, you have to help him release his energy, this thing. But again, it is not how you raise them. A lot of times, a lot of it is has to do with genetics. Genetics has a lot to do with it. Now, I am going to be giving an example. I have several dogs. I raised them all since they were very, very young. Talking about 8 to 10 weeks, I already had them in my hands. So I do have to say that they are not the same, even though I raised them. Even though I raised them the same way, they each have their own personality. And they have their way, and I have to. Once they taught me again, I always say that that my biggest teachers, my most important teachers are the dogs. They have taught me that their personalities. I have one, for example, I have one here. This is a very balanced female. You know, um, She will listen well. She understands. She will listen. If she needs to be reprimanded physically, she'll take it and perhaps stay away until everything's safe, according to her, but come back no problem. Now I have another female that she is skittish, I would say. She's skittish. She is some she's a dog that I've learned. She's taught me that I need to be extra sensitive with her. Someone that probably, if if somebody found her outside by herself, someone would say, "Oh, the poor dog was traumatized. The poor dog has been abused," because that's the go-to line for a lot of people. But I haven't abused her. She grew up the same way with the same way the other dogs did. She just happened to be a very skittish dog. I have helped her get better with it, but she would always be a skittish dog. To the point that I give you an example. I had to leave somewhere, and I do crate the dogs when I'm not home because I feel that I have control of the dogs while I'm here, but I do not want them to fight each other when I'm not home. So I do crate them when I'm not. Anyway, it was time to go into the crates, and the skittish female went into the wrong crate. I actually asked her to come out. She did not come out. She just stayed. She stood at the end, at the back of the crate. So I asked her a couple of times. She did not want to come out. So I guess I was more assertive slash aggressive. I just grabbed her by the mane, pull her out, and pull her into her right crate. Well, why did I do that? She taught me a lesson. When I came back, this was early in the morning. When I came back early in the morning, I think I would just want to get something in the morning to and come back. When I came back in the morning, I take them all out. This female did not want to come out. She decided to stay in her crate. I left the door open, but she did not come out. The only time she would come out would be to come and drink water, which is like she has to cross uh, the kitchen. Basically, she just like a big room, and then into the bathroom where I have the water for them. She would do that, drink her water, and go back into her crate. She did this for maybe I would say 8 hours. Door was open, everything was open, and all the dogs were here with me. We were all having a great time, but I don't want to say she held a grudge or anything like that, but I did go over there 2 times, and I said hey, I kind of enticed her to come out with us, but she decided not to do that. She just decided to stay there. So I left her alone. I let her deal with the situation she was dealing, and about 7, 8 hours later, she came out like like nothing had happened. She came out with her tail wagging, and like, hey, how you doing? Like it was just morning, and nothing happened. So that's just her personality. So me being a reasonable person, I understand that I need to make sure that when I get upset, I don't get too upset because she's the type that if I start talking loud, she's the first one to go heading toward the crate. She'll be like, "Oh, let me go." Even if she has nothing to do with her, nothing to do, she's the one. The other dogs are fine. The other dog, well, not fine, but the other dogs, depending on their personality, one will be like, let's watch him and see what happens. The other dog will be like, "Hey," like nothing. They all have different personalities. It's all genetics. It's like people. Obviously some environment does matter some, but genetics matters a lot more. So I have a male, the older male. His name is Simon. He's cold as ice, meaning that he is not aggressive at all. As a matter of fact, he's very submissive. And I have a male that is younger, that he's the youngest of them all. That him, his personality, his personality is very, very good. I actually like him because if I ever had to reprimand him physically, smack him, this is skittish female. Uh, um, if I had to reprimand him physically, the other male would actually go and actually the one male, the cold dog, the one that's submissive, it's like a child. Like before I hit him, he's already whining. Ah, ah. They're like, yo, I haven't even hit you yet. And the other one, I smack him like nothing. Like I smacked him like nothing. And like he'll come back in like 2 seconds later, like nothing happened. So I mean, very very different personalities. This one, for example, again, I say she is a very sensitive female. She is actually one that's very when she's wanting to be loving, she'll put her head literally on my chest, cover. She is very sensitive, and you know, before I used to go like this, and she would run away. But I have desensitized her of that, so she knows that I'm not here to. That no longer means that I'm going to hit her. Because before she used to run away and had nothing to do with hitting. Unfortunately, she doesn't trust people. She doesn't trust people. She hasn't trusted people. She's very like one one person dog. This type of personality can be very dangerous in the wrong hands. Like I said, is a personality very skittish. She doesn't trust people. When we're walking in the street and there's people coming from one side and she's on that side, she will go move to the other side. If I am standing with people and they're talking and we're gathering in a group in a circle, she will go between my legs. Just simple, just like just she uh, she doesn't come get close to people. She'll uh, and very the part that you should be very careful when you have a dog of this type of personality is that it can become uh, aggressive. I guess we could say fear aggression because of their fear, because of their fear of people, or they might bite. I've seen other dogs that with the same personality they grow up to be men biters because they were not corrected in the way they respond to their genetic predisposition of not not trusting people. So they have been some people that see that and they encourage it so that they become people aggressive. And this one particularly, obviously, I had her, so she is not people aggressive. She'll just avoid. She'll move away. That is the way she has been taught to move, to react to her feeling that way instead of biting as a response. But like I said, she's very loving. She's very loving, but again, very sensitive. So and I have the cold dog, the other one. He is enjoys different games. They all have different games. They all have different things that they like to do as entertainment. You know, she just likes to be petted and talk sweetly, and that's okay, right, Mama? So I hope that you enjoy this video or some explanation of my how I see it about. Oh, it's how you raise them. No, it's not. It's a lot of it has to do with how the genetic predisposition. I did not make one be skittish. I did not make one be cold, which was submissive, and I did not make one, average in everything, and I did not make one be dominant and you know balanced in regards to temperament. A lot of it, most of it has to do with genetics. So when they tell you, oh, this and that, you have to think. Think for yourself. Okay? I appreciate your time and have a good day.